In this section, we'll identify the popular distributions of GNU Linux. Now, as we've mentioned before, Linux was created as a kernel in addition to the various utilities and applications that were created by the Free Software Foundation or the GNU project. So together we have a system called GNU Linux. However, there are distributors available online where we can download various bundlings of the Linux or GNU Linux operating system. Let's open a web browser and we'll identify some of the more common Linux distributors. Now, there are slight differences between distributions, of course, such as ease of installation, security level, and of course, more importantly, the footprint. Some installations are much smaller than others or have fewer or more requirements for system installation. The first Linux distributor that we'd like to focus on is Debian. We'll go to debian.org. Now, Debian has a reputation as one of the more secure distributions of the GNU Linux operating system. The footprint is very small, and it's known to be secure. It also operates on many types of platforms. So unlike Red Hat, what you'll find with Debian is support for a plethora of hardware architectures, including x86, IA64, Spark, PowerPC, etc. So if you're interested in running Linux on other platforms, Debian may be a good choice. You'll also find the same with Mandrake as well as SUSE. So Debian can be located at debian.org. There's all sorts of help, documentation, information about the project, description of free, etc. You can learn a lot simply by visiting the site. If you're interested in the various ports that are available for different platforms, simply go debian.org/ports and you'll see the available ports. There's an intro, and here are the released ports. Of course, it runs on Intel. That's where Linux is most popular, as well as Motorola and a plethora of other platforms, including Spark. So if you have some old Sun Spark machines around that you'd like to run Linux on, consider using the Debian distribution. The Debian distribution, once again, is very secure, and similar to the other distributions, it's very easy to install. But in addition, it's available for many platforms, Alpha, ARM, etc. A plethora of platforms. We'll now turn our attention to the SUSE distribution. And before we leave Debian, if you'd like, we can go back to the home page or go to Getting Debian, and you can easily figure out from here how to download the software. You can make a CD set for yourself, download it, and install it on your system. Or, of course, you can install from the Debian website using the FTP protocol. Now let's move on to SUSE. We'll go to SUSE.com. And one other note about Debian, the typical footprint is anywhere from 250 megabytes to 2 gigabytes. Whereas with Red Hat, where we focus most of our attention, the footprint is a minimum of 475 megabytes with the custom installation, all the way up to 5 gigabytes. Now, SUSE also provides Linux. They're another major distributor of Linux. They're used widely, and they're also used in business and home environments. They have packages for either situation. You can find out more information by visiting SUSE.com. Now, similar to the other Linux distributions, it's all based on GNU Linux, so it's available for free under the terms of the GPL. That's a general public license, which means we can download, redistribute, etc. Now, of course, there are some components of many of the packages that cannot be redistributed freely, and wherever possible, the distributor discloses that information so that we know. However, SUSE has a setup that's very easy to install, and in many cases, as they've mentioned, even easier than Windows XP to install. So it's a very easy Linux to get going on your system. They're located once again at SUSE.com. And they have a hardware database. You can register your software so you can get updates similar to the Red Hat network, and it's provided entirely free. You can also buy the software online, and they have the tiered categories set up here, such as home user, business customers. So depending on your class, that will dictate what you select. We can simply say SUSE Linux here to gain further information about the home user version or the home edition. Now the latest version is SUSE Linux 8.2, which uses the latest available GNU Linux kernel, as they all do, which is 2.4.21, minor release. Now SUSE's footprint ranges anywhere from a minimum of 400 megabytes all the way up to 6 gigabytes. So in fact, SUSE can be bigger or require a larger footprint on your system than a Red Hat full installation. But it can also be trimmed to a smaller footprint than a Red Hat installation, being 400 megabytes. And once again, the latest version is 8.2, and it's available in various offerings such as the Pro, etc. SUSE, similar to Mandrake and Debian, is available for multiple platforms, so the focus isn't entirely on the Intel architecture. If you'd like to download SUSE, simply go to the download link and you'll get further information. You can get patches, updates here in the right column, and you can find out more information about downloading the entire operating system directly from their website or from mirrors that are available on the internet. You can click here for a mirror in the vicinity. And once we navigate down, you'll see there are architecture settings, country settings, etc. And of course you can navigate to the US if you're using this in the US or the closest country or region to you. And most of these sites are available vis-a-vis anonymous FTP. So it's simple as clicking on the link as we've done here, and we're now connected to a site that's in Boston, Massachusetts, which is very close to Connecticut. Great. Let's move on from SUSE. That's another major distribution. We'll visit Mandrake. Now Mandrake is located at various URLs on the internet. You can do Mandrake Soft or mandrakelinux.com. Mandrake provides another easy to install GNU Linux distribution. Now the emphasis at Mandrake is on having a great suite of graphical administrative tools for administering the system. So you'll find that one difference with the Mandrake Linux distribution is that there are many graphical tools available for performing common tasks such as manipulating your web server, the Apache web server, DNS, etc., setting up printers, you name it, users. The same is the case with Red Hat and others, but Mandrake is sort of leading the way on developing graphical administrative tools. In addition, Mandrake provides various distributions, packages for all types of users, all categories of users, ranging from the home user all the way up to clustered business environments. If you'd like, you can download Mandrake here. There's screenshots and all sorts of other information if you'd like to see. But across the board, you'll find that most of the installers resemble each other. They're very easy to set up, etc. And this is the latest version of Mandrake that's available, and they ask for your support in their site in order to keep the project or the distribution alive. There's documentation online, etc. And similar to Debian, SUSE, as well as Red Hat, Mandrake Linux is available in various packages. 9.1 is the latest version. You can order a server edition, a desktop edition, etc. Now let's move on to the final distribution, the one we'll be spending most of our time with, and that's Red Hat. We'll navigate to redhat.com, and if you've gotten any experience or any exposure to Linux at all, chances are it's been to the Red Hat distribution. Now Red Hat is by far the largest distributor of GNU Linux. Similar to Mandrake, SUSE, Debian, etc., Red Hat attempts to and does a nice job of creating nice graphical administrative tools to make the distribution easier to use. In addition, the installation is very easy. So Red Hat's yet another distribution. You can go to download if you'd like, and it's bundled in various formats. In general, you can download the source disks which includes the 3 binaries as well as the 3 source CDs, so disks 1 through 6, from Red Hat or from a mirror, and install it on your system. Or you can buy the bundles from Red Hat directly, or any distribution point, such as a computer store. Now we'll be spending most of our time with Red Hat Linux 9, since it's the widely distributed, widely used Linux. You'll find Red Hat on many enterprise class servers such as Dell, Compaq, HP, etc. So that's why we'll be spending most of our time there. Now Red Hat's footprint ranges from 475 megabytes to 5 gigabytes. And once again, the footprint is the amount of disk space that's required for the operating system to run. All the distributions, although they may have different version numbers or distribution numbers such as 8.2 or 9.1 with Mandrake, all the distributions will bundle the latest kernel or close to the latest kernel. So they're all using, for example, 2.4. something. So regardless of the GNU Linux distribution that you decide to go with, you're likely to find the majority of the features are the same across the board. The only differences being, of course, support from the distributor, the way they bundle their applications, the tools that they provide, the ease of use, etc. But across the board, they're all reliable, all stable, all scalable because they're based on the same kernel as well as the same GNU utilities that you can find at the Free Software Foundation or the GNU website. So that's an intro to the major distributions that are available. We've looked at Debian, located at Debian.org, SUSE, located at SUSE.com, Mandrake, located at MandrakeLinux.com, as well as Red Hat, located at RedHat.com. Now, of course, there are many other distributions. Some of the other distributions we haven't looked at include Caldera, for example. Caldera is a popularly used Linux distribution for various hardware solutions, such as FatPipe devices. And there are many other distributions available, but we'll be focusing our attention on Red Hat Linux. So you know about the 4, so let's move on to using the product.